Hello everyone and welcome to the Daily Morning Podcast. So first let's see Indian markets closing in yesterday's session. So Indian equity market extended gains in yesterday's trade with Sensex and Nifty scaling another record high levels. At close, Sensex and Nifty were up by 0.8% and 0.6% respectively, while broader markets closed mixed with Nifty Midcap 100 declining 0.2% and Nifty Small Cap 100 gaining by 0.3%. So index heavyweight banks continued to provide support to the benchmark indices in hitting new record high levels in yesterday's session. Now moving on to the top gainers and losers on NSE, then Reliance Industries, Bharti Airtel, Ultratech Cement, Grasim, Britannia, Sun Pharma, NTPC, ICICI Bank, Adani Ports were the top gainers on NSE, while top losers were Apollo Hospitals, M&M, Bajaj Auto, Tata Steel, Hindalco, Cipla, Tech Mahindra, HDFC Bank. If we take a look into the sector-wise performance on BSE, then top gainers on BSE were BSE Telecommunication Index, which was up 2.3%, followed by BSE Energy, which was up by 1.5%. BSE Oil and Gas and FMCG indices were also up, with BSE Oil and Gas gaining around 1% and BSE FMCG Index gaining by 0.3%. Rest all the sectoral indices like cap goods, IT, power, healthcare, consumer durables, auto, realty and metal closed negative, with BSE metals and realty declining the most with losses of 1.5% and 1.4% respectively. The overall market breadth was neutral as about 1,922 stocks advanced against 1,960 stocks that declined in yesterday's session on BSE. About 184 stocks scaled 52-week highs, including names like Axis Bank, Biocon, Gabriel India, Garden Reach Shipbuilders, ICICI Bank, ITD Cementation and Keynes Technology, while about 12 stocks made 52-week lows in yesterday's trade. If we take a look into the FII DIS performance, then the FIS net sold rupees 3,535 crores, while DIS net bought rupees 5,104 crores in cash market yesterday. Now, the global cues for today's trade. US market closed with mild gains yesterday as investors preferred to remain on the sidelines ahead of the presidential debate, which is going to happen today, as well as the PC data, that is personal consumption expenditure data, which is going to release tomorrow. So Nasdaq and S&P 500 ended up by 0.5% and 0.2% respectively, while Dow was flat at 39,127.8 levels. Asian market cues are mostly mixed at present, so that indicates a flat to marginally lower opening for our market in today's session. Now let's move on to the stocks which are in focus today. So first one is Dr. Reddy's Laboratories. The company's Switzerland subsidiary will acquire North Star Switzerland and related portfolios from Haleon for an upfront cash consideration of £458 million. It will also pay an additional performance-based contingent of £42 million in 2025 and 2026. So overall positive for Dr. Reddy's Laboratories in short to medium term. Telecom stocks are also going to be in focus as Bharti Airtel has acquired 97 MHz spectrum in the 900 MHz, 1800 MHz and 2100 MHz frequency bands for about 6,857 crores over a period of 20 years. Reliance Jio has bought 14.4 MHz of spectrum worth Rs 974 crores and Vodafone Idea has bagged 30 MHz of spectrum worth Rs 3,510 crores. So it will be positive for all these telecom stocks in today's session. JSW Energy is also in focus. The company's unit JSW Neo Energy has signed a power purchase agreement through its subsidiaries for 1,325 megawatts of renewable energy projects, which is likely to be commissioned in the next 21 to 24 months. So neutral to positive for JSW Energy in medium term. ITD Cementation has secured a new marine contract worth Rs 1,082 crores for constructing the third berth and specified additional works in Gujarat. So positive for the company in short to medium term. KEC International has received a new order worth Rs 1,025 crores for its transmission and cable business. So positive for the company in short to medium term. Ramki Infrastructure has received two contracts worth Rs 107 crores and 23 crores from Power Grid Energy Services. So positive for the company in medium term. The board of Navin Fluorine will meet on 29 June to discuss the 750 crores of fundraise. So positive for Navin Fluorine in short term. Patanjali Foods can also be in focus for some time as Baba Ramdev and Acharya Balkrishna has received notice from Kozhikode Court over advertisements relating to Ayurvedic medicines from Divya Pharmacy. Ramdev and Balkrishna have been asked to appear in person or through counsel before the court on 6 July. But we believe the overall reaction on Patanjali Foods should be neutral. Sona BLW Precision Forgings has received certification for traction motors for electric two-wheelers under the PLI scheme for the automobile and auto component industry in India. So positive for the company. RVNL's JV with KRDCL has received a letter of acceptance from Southern Railway for automatic signalling work in the Ernakulam Trivandrum division in Kerala. So positive for the company in short to medium term. SJVN Green Energy has signed an agreement with AM Green Ammonia India for cooperation on the supply and sourcing of renewable energy for green ammonia plants. So positive for SJVN in medium term. Also, PI Industries is in news as the company has announced an offer to acquire Plant Healthcare PLC for a purchase consideration of about £32.8 million, proposed to be paid in cash and funded via QIP proceeds. Plant Healthcare PLC is a UK listed company with subsidiaries in US, Brazil, Mexico and a few other countries in protein or peptide technology in the agricultural biological space. PHC products have good acceptance with growers in key markets, example in US, Brazil, Europe and Mexico. And the annual revenue of this company is around $11 million. So overall, this development is positive for PI Industries in medium to long term. Supreme Industries has received letter of acceptance from Indian Oil Corporation for project worth rupees 55 crores, so positive for the company in medium term. CSB Bank can also be in focus as FIH Mauritius is likely to sell 9.72% stake in CSB Bank via block deal and the floor price for which is about 352.4 per share against rupees 356 of yesterday's closing price. So overall it should be neutral for CSB Bank. Archean Chemicals is also in focus as India Resurgence Fund Scheme 1 and Scheme 2 and Piramal Natural Resources is likely to sell 10.13% equity of company, so it should be neutral to negative for Archean Chemicals in short term. Now moving on to some of the bulk and block deals data. Firstly talking about block deals, then in case of Hindustan Foods, Infinity Consumer Holdings has sold 31 lakh shares which is 2.7% of the equity. Jwalamukhi Investment Holdings has sold 62.81 lakh shares which is 5.5% of the equity. Konark Trust has sold 2.36 lakh shares which is 0.2% of the equity. Sixth Sense India Opportunities 11 has sold 7 lakh shares which is 0.6% of the equity. And Westbridge AIF 1 has sold 23.98 lakh shares which is 2.1% of the equity. And against this, ICICI Prudential Life Insurance, Aditya Birla Sun Life Insurance, Morgan Stanley Asia Singapore and Samsung India 2.0 Equity Master Investment Trust has bought the stake at rupees 502 per share. So a major block deal has happened in Hindustan Foods. Also in case of Sharda Motors, Mala Relan has sold 25 lakh shares which is 8.4% of the equity. And against that, ICICI Prudential Mutual Fund, Nippon India Mutual Fund, HDFC Mutual Fund, Axis Small Cap Fund, HSBC Mutual Fund has bought the stake at rupees 1,996.1 per share. Other than this, talking about the bulk deals data. So firstly in Vedanta, Finsider International Company has sold 9.75 crore shares which is 2.6% of the equity at rupees 427.2 per share. In Anup Engineering, Aura Business Ventures LLP has sold 3 lakh shares which is 3.02% of the equity at rupees 1,826 per share. In Inox Green, Dovetail India Fund has sold 31 lakh shares which is 1.1% of the equity at rupees 166.6 per share. And against that, Societe Generale has bought 24.5 lakh shares which is 1% of the equity at rupees 166.5 per share. Also in Affle India, Affle Holdings has sold 25 lakh shares which is 1.78% of the equity, while ICICI Prudential Mutual Fund has bought 7.75 lakh shares which is 0.6% of the equity. And Monetary Authority of Singapore has bought 16.16 lakh shares which is 1.15% of the equity at rupees 1,290 per share. Also in Paisalo Digital, Ebisu Global Opportunities Fund has bought 1.48 crore shares which is 1.65% of equity. And against that, Nomura Singapore has sold the equivalent number of stake at rupees 75.5 per share. Now taking a look into the insider trades, then Tidewater Oil promoter Standard Greases and Specialities has bought 38,762 shares on 25th June. In Salazar Techno Engineering, promoter Kamlesh Gupta has sold 21.4 lakh shares between 19 and 24th June. And in case of KNR Construction, promoter K. Narasimha Reddy has sold 4.35 lakh shares between 24th and 25th of June. Also in case of Gensol Engineering, promoter Amol Singh Jaggi has revoked a pledge for 6 lakh shares on 25th June. Talking about the corporate action data, then today is the X or record bonus issue date for Orient Pro Solutions and X or record stock split date for Share India Securities. So these were the key market data points to track going ahead in today's trade. That's it from the Daily Morning Podcast. Thank you everyone for listening.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.